Oh, you want to intro this one?
Whatever, yeah. Okay, guys, we started. Okay.
That's going in.
This guy puts all my mistakes in there and doesn't put any of his mistakes.
This is the beauty of him not knowing how to edit.
Okay, we just played Assassin's Creed
Origins.
Origins.
The story with Assassin's Creed Origins is that you used to release an Assassin's Creed every year until everyone was like, stop, please, calm down. Don't do that anymore. So they took a year off the franchise and they've released Origins, or they're going to release it this year. It's set in Egypt and they promised to sort of revitalize Assassin's Creed. I walked in sort of optimistic because, you know, like Ubisoft, you know, they spent a whole extra year on it. I was like, yeah, cool. I'm really impressed by it. I think the first thing that I noticed when I walked in, because we actually played it on Xbox One X, 4K resolution, and it looks utterly magnificent. It
looks amazing.
It does.
It feels like they sat there, were like, what's the most popular game around? Grand Theft Auto. I got it. Grand Theft Creed.
I would actually put it more like The Witcher. It feels a lot more like The Witcher in terms of the scale, or Skyrim, you know, because it's this big spread out open world with lots of spaces between the villages and the points of interest. But it's a huge world. The draw distances are massive. You know, you're flying up there with this bird thing, and you can just see forever while you're doing it.
I remember when you actually turned around and spoke to one of the developers, and you were like, you were on the map, and you were like, "Is this really how big the map is?"
Yeah. We pressed the map button and looked around it, and it's huge. Like, it honestly feels like as big as the Skyrim map, but I don't know that obviously because you can't quite tell. But it looks like a gigantic area to explore, which is awesome.
And who knows if there's actually more? Like, who knows if it's?
And I think that, or maybe it is. I don't know, but I think that'd probably be it. But yeah, anyway, so. That was that. It looked incredible, huge scale. Detail on it as in terms of the micro level detail on the characters and just how good it looked. It was just beautiful. And it's set in ancient Egypt, which is a setting that a lot of people have wanted to go to for a long time. And they're really nailing that, I thought. Like,
yeah, especially when you have that eagle mechanic, you can kind of look all around and you can really appreciate it. You know, if they didn't have that, then yes, you could always find a mountain to look over ever so often. But like every time that you're calling that eagle, you're always going to get hit with the fact that, wow, this is so beautiful. It's so expansive. There's so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
You know?
So they've changed up the combat quite a bit now. There's like a heavy attack and a light attack. There's a shield block. It feels very Dark Souls-esque in terms of what they're striving for. I don't think they're quite there yet. I sort of feel like the combat animations are taking center stage where like the collision detection is still a little bit off. It didn't feel quite right yet. But look, they've still got a lot of time to develop it, so I'm not willing to judge that yet. But the idea that they're mixing up the combat in that way, there's heaps of different weapons. They all have different move sets. You know, like that heavy and light attack combination is interesting. I think the combat was good overall, but still, like, watch this space.
I like any game that is taking a risk. You know, like if it might not be there yet. You know, I don't think the combat's there, but like it's nice that they're like, hey guys, we're trying something new. A lot of people are like, oh, this combat's shit, but like.
I don't even think a lot of people will say it's shit. I just think it's not standout.
No, but a lot of people just love to jump on that train, you know, if it's not perfect yet. But it's awesome that they're trying something completely different. And I think you're right, it's going to take a little bit of time to get it there, but once it's there, it'll be pretty good, hopefully.
The story is, I can't quite tell yet obviously, but it looked very dark, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but we played one area and it was much darker than anything we've seen in a previous Assassin's Creed game. Things went down and you're like, whoa, don't really expect to see that here. So that's an interesting turn. They're clearly like trying for something extra with the story.
Yeah, I was saying before, like maybe it's just them setting up that this is not going to be, you know, the average Assassin's Creed. It's going to be darker and the story is going to be a lot darker than usual. And maybe they just needed to say from the get-go, hey, this is what to expect. You know?
I think that overall, like, it still feels like an Assassin's Creed game. Like, if your question is, does it feel markedly different? No, it doesn't. It still feels the same, but I think the improvements to the combat in terms of like how they've changed it up, I think the scale of the world, I think that like that bird thing that you can use to fly around, I think the setting, I think there's sure to be other things that we'll see along the way, but I think the sum total of it changes it up enough that I'm like, all right, I'm ready for another year of Assassin's Creed. I'm ready for another experience, especially given that we've had a year off as well. I feel like it's nice to have had that break. I picked up the Assassin's Creed controller and I was like, yeah, I'm ready for another one of these. Where before I was like, no, I want to break from this. There's just, I've had too much of this.
Because you don't want to end up, you know, it's just this franchise that's trying to print money and it's like, come on, we've got to bring one out of this year when it doesn't need to come out. And I think they took that approach. And
let's make it a World War II. I mean, I'm joking, that's No, we played COD actually. It wasn't that bad. We'll talk about that later.
It was actually not that bad, I should say.
Actually, yeah.
That's the subconscious talking. No, it was alright.
So Assassin's Creed comes out at the end of the year. Overall, very positive for me.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm actually looking forward to now. It's, as I said, not hugely different, but different enough that if you enjoy Assassin's Creed game, it's going to feel fresh for you. If you really like big open world games like Skyrim or The Witcher, there's going to be stuff in there that appeals to you as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so my final thoughts, it was good, I enjoyed it. I like that they're being ambitious and they're being a bit different, and I think, adding, the eagle mechanics and stuff like that, it's making sure that the player can also really enjoy all that work that's gone into that world. So I really love what they've done, and I'm looking forward to it, for sure.
Cool. Anyway guys, that's it. That's the end of our time here at the Ubisoft Lounge. It's the special place that you can see them packing up stuff in the background. It's a special place they set up for people like us to be able to get behind the scenes with all their new games and stuff. So we're going to talk more about Ubisoft stuff in the future. But for now guys, this is Skill Up and Skill Down.
Skill down, baby.
Signing off. Bye-bye.